is that in the Stanford Research Institute remote viewing program that I'm sure you're familiar with. I'm not sure how many of our listeners are familiar with it, but it was a program that was developed by the United States, initially Office of Naval Intelligence and eventually Central Intelligence Agency, to see whether human beings could remotely view locations at a distance. Okay, have a psychic ability to be able to project their vision to another place, right?
That's the thing about parapsychology, which is the academic study of psychic abilities, is that, speaking to the skeptic who may be watching here, the word psychic may invoke like Miss Cleo or goofy, media representations, or you may not believe in it, but the government has sure spent millions, billions, maybe even of your tax dollars in studying it, cultivating the skills for their spies, and creating technology that, like you said, amplifies psychic ability. And so, again, there's a lot of through lines with, it may seem like a lot of topics coming at people at once. Now I have to believe in aliens and psychic stuff. And it's like, well, your government does. So.
Well, the government not only believes it, the government knows it.
And a lot of resources are spent on psychic stuff.
Yeah, and you can spend as much time as you want in denying reality. I mean, it's your privilege. If you want, in a democracy, you can pretend like you don't know that Italy is even there, or you can believe the world is flat. You can believe anything you want, but it doesn't really serve you that well.
It doesn't change the truth.
To insist upon believing something that is just demonstrably untrue. Okay, which. But the bottom line is that we know from having seen the records that in the Stanford Research Institute, they were developing these psychic abilities. They had a fellow named Pat Price, who they brought to a facility in South Central Canada. It was this little like miniature observatory building, and they had on top of it these big communication dishes, and they brought him to the facility. And sat him down in this chair and put the helmet on him, which appears to potentially be a back-engineered version of the helmet that they recovered from the Roswell crash in July of 1947. But they put this helmet on him, and they had him think explicitly of the command and they broadcast it through the communication dishes, through the psionic assist, and focused the communication dishes down onto the northern peninsula of Michigan, and had Pat Price say, file your next year's federal income tax forms in this little tiny nowhere town in West Virginia in this specific post office box. And 80% of the people did.